YouTubers and influencers share a ton of their lives with their fans, from the good and the bad to the insanely terrifying. And sadly, influencers can encounter really scary life-threatening situations that they share with us. And when they're ready to talk about it, we as viewers get a unique look into their lives, and we can learn lessons from the things that they have gone through. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mackenzie Smith here, and today on the channel, I'm going to be filling you in on the top 5 influencers that have had near-death experiences and shared their stories on YouTube. And some of these are so crazy, I can honestly hardly believe it for myself, and I know for sure that there are more, so if you want to see another video just like this one, let me know below in the comments any that I missed. Also make sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to see more. Alright, now let's get into what you're here for. Starting off at number 5, we have Tanner Fox.
This is the scene of the whole crash. As you guys can see, I didn't realize how far we went. We skipped over like a little house. We were so close to hitting this like little garage, like tent thing. We landed upside down on the bed of that truck. That yellow sign is the sign we took out at the top of the hill. So we traveled off of like a 25-foot cliff, and the car flew like 45 feet.
Tanner Fox was in a car crash so bad that it was covered by local news. He explained all the details of the crash in a video he uploaded in 2016 called "The Day I Should Have Died." In the video, he explains how he got in a life-threatening crash with 2 of his friends. He starts saying him and his friends were bored, and his friend Maverick said he was gonna pass time by going on a canyon run, which is when you drive through the hills to pass time. So his friend Maverick was driving, but Tanner mentions that he had a strange feeling about the canyons, and then told his fans to trust their gut when they get those feelings, saying he felt so strange he actually did somewhat of a prayer beforehand, and joked with his friend to not kill him. He said they were coming up to the turn and they were going the speed limit, but when the driver went to turn, the brakes or the steering gave out and the car didn't actually turn, but instead started to drift. And he said at that point he saw some poles they were gonna hit, and he saw the cliff, but he had no idea what was below. After he hit the pole and saw that they were gonna drive off of a cliff, he says he honestly expected to die. Then after the car went airborne, he closed his eyes and was waiting for the impact, and when it finally came, he was shocked it wasn't lights out for good. But when he woke up, he realized the car had flipped and he had broken his leg. He says this all happened at night, but when he came back the next day, he realized just how far that he flew, saying he went 45 feet in the air and the cliff they fell off was about 25 feet tall. And obviously he's very lucky to be alive, and there was definitely something watching over them that day. And at number 4, Casey Neistat.
Graham just fell off a cliff and was laying face down. No idea what happened to him. I think he tried to slide down it and just ended up going tits up. I mean, we were beaten to hell. I don't know what my middle name is. I couldn't tell you my social security number. I think there might be an 8 in it. Barely speak. I did summon it, but at what cost? My God.
Casey told his story about his reckless decision to climb a mountain with his friends in a vlog he uploaded in 2015. He starts the video talking about the difference between risk and recklessness, saying he invites risk into his life, but the line between the two can be very small, saying the only time he feels in his life that he was very reckless was the time that he decided to climb Mount Aconcagua in Chile with his friend Graham, saying he didn't think it would be all that hard, so to test themselves, him and his friend planned to climb the mountain with no guides and no porters, also only letting themselves use a map instead of a GPS like most other people would use. And to make sure that they wouldn't back out, they made a mantra for themselves called Summit or Bust. But the issue came on Christmas morning when they were planning to summit, and when they were approaching their turnaround time, they figured they were close enough to the top that they would just push through. But this was a huge mistake, as one of the most important rules in climbing is to turn around at your turnaround time. They pushed through because they were so close, but they're exhausted, and Casey said he kept blacking out from the altitude, then adding that they did end up summiting, but his friend ended up taking a bad fall on the way down, and they both could have gotten really badly hurt because they were rushing. And Casey said this was the biggest mistake of his life, because he remembers wanting to go to sleep so badly, but if he did, he's positive he wouldn't be alive today. And at number 3, My Life As Eva.
We apparently lost the trail. I hope I don't die tonight, but I will let you know when I get back to the campsite. I have been rescued. It's now snowing pretty damn hard.
Eva told the story of a time back in 2014 when her and her friends decided that they wanted to go camping, and they decided to go to Joshua Tree, which is a desert with boulders. But when her and her friends arrived, they were shocked to learn that there was a huge snowstorm coming, and they were told to leave before nightfall. But since her friends came so far, they wanted to go bouldering. So Eva and her friends went, but Eva was only wearing Nike Roshi shoes with literally no grip on them. As well, she had no idea the temperature would be so cold, so she only brought a light jacket and leggings to hike with, and explaining that since she was bouldering, there were huge gaping holes that you could fall through, and if that happened, who knows how long she would have been stuck there. So she ended up getting too tired to continue with the climbing, and her friends were going to continue up the mountain, but after a few hours passed and they didn't come back, she got bored and tired, so she ended up falling asleep. When she woke up, it was snowing, and she started to freak out for her friends because she was scared of them hiking down wet rock. She then realizes she's freezing cold and her fingertips were red with black dots in it, which means that they were starting to freeze. Then she ends up falling asleep again. But when she woke up, she finally heard her friends calling for her. Then when they found her, they told her they were looking for hours, and they even filed a missing persons report. Then adding that if she hadn't have woken up in that very moment, she would have had to sleep the night in between the rock when it was snowing, and she probably wouldn't have made it with what she was wearing. And at number 2, Vitaly.
I got it.
Vitaly is known for his pranks and life-threatening stunts, but he did what he called the stupidest thing he's ever done when he decided to risk his life by going into the ring with a bull. And not only was he wearing the classic red cape to get the bull's attention, he also dressed in red from head to toe, even painting his face red and wearing red devil horns. Vitaly ended up putting small pumpkins in the ring as well, and his challenge was to pick them all up before he left the ring. But he ended up riling up the bull too much for his own good, and the bull ended up charging at him, hitting him in the back and then stomping on him a few times. It ends with one of the people in charge of the bull distracting him, and Vitaly jumped out of the ring as fast as possible. He ends the video in the hospital with him saying that he broke his jaw in 2 places. And finally, number 1, BF versus GF.
Oh my god! What the hell?
You idiot.
Oh my
I told
God.
you. Don't do that no more.
You didn't tell me until the last second and they were like screaming.
This one is not only insane, but also kind of shows the dangers of daily vlogging. So back when BF vs GF was filming daily, they decided to take a trip to San Francisco. And probably one of the first things that people think of when they think of San Fran is their famous hilly streets, as well as their streetcars that take you up and around those streets. So Jesse and Gianna obviously had to take a ride on the open streetcars during their time there, but that's when the incident took place. Basically, they were on the streetcar, and in one vlog clip, she's standing entirely out of the streetcar, holding on to just the pole while she spreads out like a starfish. But the next clip is the issue. She's on the streetcar when it's out in the streets, and again for the vlog, most of her body is hanging out of the car when she's on the street facing side, looking at her boyfriend. But the scary part happens when she's hanging out and you can see another streetcar approaching in the background, and the other car starts ringing its bell like crazy, and Jessie finally tells her to pull her body back inside, and she does it just in time to miss the other streetcar hitting her. And when I tell you, this was close, like she really could have gotten hurt. Alright everyone, that's all from me today. Let me know what you're thinking below, and who do you think had the worst one? Honestly, I can't even pick one that I thought was the scariest because all of these are incredibly terrifying. But it's crazy to note that 2 of them were from climbing a mountain. So I guess really watch out if you're gonna do that. Okay, now before I head out, I'm gonna shout out some comments from my video on the girl getting lifted up by a kite. So Brent Wood said, I could have sworn it was fake. The internet has made me jaded. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like when you first see the video, you're like, this can't be real. I feel like it could have easily been sort of photoshopped, but no, like it's real. Then Laura said, I guess that's one way to stay in high spirits. Okay, I love puns, so you know, I had to include, but not sure if it makes me like a bad person, but I low-key laughed at this, like come on, like it's kind of funny because the girl didn't get hurt. Then cat.exe said, the parents should have kept an eye on their kid. Organizers should have also made sure that the kite's tail was out of reach for people. Sad to see that happened. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people made a lot of mistakes that day. It's really strange that, yeah, the parents weren't watching. How could the kid get like so wrapped in the kite? Like just so many strange things happened. Then Arena Chowdhury said, to everyone who accidentally laughed, welcome to the club, we're all going to hell. Okay, I have to admit, I did like kind of laugh the first time I saw it. I think it's just because it's so shocking. Like it's not funny, but it's just like the first reaction you have to something that's like, I've never seen anything like before. Like what is this video? And also like the person above said, it seems kind of fake for some reason. So that makes it like more funny, even though it's not, but like this comment is facts. Alright, that's all from me today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell below. Also follow the team on Instagram if you want to see more of us. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.